Good morning, it's Dr. Cortez. And tuloy natin yung ating discussion for business process management. So reminder, refrain from yawning please, you are on camera. Hoping that you guys will listen to me until the end of our lesson for today. Ito yung ating topic under the BPM, lesson number 3, benefits and challenges of BPM. BPM, of course, stands for Business Process Management. And those who are not yet familiar with me, I am Dr. Cortez once again. I am Doctor of Education and Doctor of Business. I call myself as the business doctor, and those are my credentials. And sa ating learning outcomes for today, sabihin, after we are done with the lesson, ito yung mga you are capable of doing, guys. Identify the areas where BPM helps reduce cost, basically the benefits of BPM, and of course, the second main topic is the challenges of BPM. So parang yung ating dalawang extreme, no? The benefits, and the opposite are the challenges or the obstacles in dealing with the BPM. And for today, these are the topics cover the benefits of BPM and challenges of business process management. And before we start with the lesson, pwede mong mag-request, guys, kunting lambing lang to subscribe sa aking munting channel. Paklik yung ating subscribe button and like and pa-share na lang. And I would like to thank you in advance. To start, first main topic, what are the benefits of business process management? So once again, is a backgrounder, itong lesson na to, itong subject ay important sa ating mga negosyo kasi pag wala kasing BPM, parang chaotic yung ating gagawin sa loob ng ating company. Kasi it is obvious na pag mayroon tayong sinusunod na process sa loob ng ating company, lahat ng mga functions ay dapat ay may process na sinusunod in manual, or written in manual, isang sample, isang folder, isang process sa ating mga company. And obviously, pag meron tayong mga ganon, we can see that hindi masyadong chaotic or streamlined or organized ang ating gagawing process sa loob. Alright, so BPM, benefits of process management. Ating pinaka-unang topic, we have a couple of benefits or ano bang advantages ng meron tayong sinusunod na mga process na procedure, written, sa lahat ng owners, lahat ng process owners, isang company merong sinusunod na policy, procedure. Hindi mahirapan, no? And kahit mawala mga process owners natin sa isang company, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung may proper turnover kasi may susundan yung mga next na employee if ever na mayroong magre-resign sa isang company or department or organizations. Benefit number 1. Alright, so obviously, may increase in efficiency and productivity pag meron tayong BPM or process, or meron tayong proper management of all the processes sa ating mga company. Especially pag ikaw you want to be accredited ng ISO, lahat ng functions at ang process dapat naka-written or masinusundan sa mga folders or process or protocol ng lahat ng mga empleyado. Hindi pwedeng sinasabing meron, no? dapat yung nakasulat sa manual ay dapat yun ang sinusunod. Para mas efficient. Hindi ka magtatagal eh. So under number 1, increase efficiency and productivity. Yung workflow sa isang company, ma-streamline din. Pang dire-diretso, hindi ka mag-iisip if what is the next thing to be done. So pag mag-iisip ka anong next na procedure na sinusundan, it will take some of your time. Pero pag merong number 1 tayo, example, will reduce redundancy. Kasi pag may manual, may procedure ka, nakikita mo yung mga process activities na magkakatulad. So you can eliminate some of them. Isa lang yung susundin natin, or we can streamline mga procedures or protocol sa isang company. Mga manual efforts natin is of course may mga functions sa loob ng isang company na manually done. At pag yan ay walang sinusundan, example, nagpalit ang isang empleyado, pag walang sinusunod na process, yung isang empleyado, yung employee number 2, iba naman kayang gagawin kaysa sa ginawa ng employee number 1. So baka ulitin na naman yung errors, mas malaki pag hindi standard. So pag streamlined, reducing redundancies na walang masyadong wastage, it will result to bigger output for the process of our employee. So mas maging productive yung isang empleyado. Okay, so another one for number 1, automates repetitive task. Ayan, so kahit repetitive yung mga ginagawa mga task, walang problema kasi uniform naman sila. Sabi natin pag yung task ay repetitive at meron kang 5 empleyado, so merong pwedeng may 5 ways of doing things. Pag wala kang sinusunod na process or BPM. Ayan, no? So another thing, pag ikaw ay may sinusunod na proseso, yung supervisor, yung managers, kahit di ka na masyadong i-supervise kasi meron kang susundan eh. Pero pag wala, the managers, the owners will coach. Diba? So parang napaka trivial na yung napaka detailed na task isang company. Ituturo pa sa'yo ng managers or supervisors. So parang instead that they will be focusing on strategic or high management functions, yung mga details tinuturo pa sa'yo kasi wala kang sinusundan. The number, it automates a repetitive task. It will free your employers, managers, supervisors from manual or repetitive tasks. No? So, doon na lang sila sa mas matataas na level ang managing. Okay, yung mga repetitive, ibigay na sa'yo. As long as mayroong mga manual or process na susundan. And number 2 natin sa benefit, cost reduction. Alright, so obviously it will eliminate wasteful processes sa loob ng isang company. Yung mga example, mga materials, paggamit ng improper use of machines, improper use of materials, expenses, masyadong marami, no? Example, salary. Nagdodoble-doble yung trabaho pag walang BPM. Pag doble yung trabaho, the overtime pay will increase, electricity will increase. So, mga operation expenses tataas pag walang sinusunod na proseso. Coupled with wastage, spoilage sa mga gamit, materials, kasi wala kang sinusundan eh. So, that is benefit number 2 for BPM. And the third benefit, so let's have this one, better compliance. Meron tayong ISO, sabi natin last time, meron tayong ISO na sinusunod. And one of the task ng ISO is sasabihin sa'yo, dapat may standard kang sinusunod. So for bet number 3, better compliance and risk management. Yung better compliance, it means ensure adherence. So, regulatory requirements. Sabi ko kanina, ISO is one. At mga government, meron pa sinusunod na mga standard. Example, sa local government, sa city hall, di ba? Meron silang ganun, sa accountancy profession. Pero sinusunod na ganun sa occupational safety and health standard by the government. Yan. So, yung mga regulatory tasks na dapat sundin ng isang company. Kung meron kang BPM or number 3, pag may nagawa mo to, so it means you are complying with regulatory requirements ng government. Alright, it provides documentation pa. Siyempre, pag BPM, sabi ko kanina, example, pag ISO, marami siyang documentation kang i-comply. So, pag hinanap siya ng regulatory government body, ano ginagawa mo, makita mo na yung folder ng iyong process, lahat ng task or procedure nakalagay doon. So, you are transparent. Kasi nakikita, hindi pwedeng sinasabi mo lang. Hindi pwedeng sabihin, ito ma'am yung ginagawa namin. Wala man nakasulat. Paano pag iba naman in interview? Iba naman sasabihin, right? And of course, reducing legal risk. Maraming klase ng risk sa isang company. Physical, di ba? Pag mga example, yung different procedure, pwedeng magbago. No? So it can cause like defective or yung pag example sa machinery, no? Iba yung ginawang procedure. Employee number 2, ibang ginawang procedure, hindi sa standard. So baka magkamali, can cause risk. Example, physical risk. Pwedeng masira. It can cause delay in the example production. And syempre sa legal risk, ayan, may labor practices ang ginagawa ng company when it comes to labor practices. Kapag naka-process, example, yung payroll ng isang company, payroll procedure, so nakalagay doon, transparent, magkano binabayaran, overtime pay, no? So, are complying with example with the DOLE, with Department of Labor requirements. And sabi ko kanina, meron tayong Occupational Health and Standard Office sa Quezon City, no? Dapat sumunod ka doon. Kung meron kang manual, so it's better na ganun papakita sa kanila. And number 4, enhance agility and flexibility sa loob ng ating organization. So, agile, you can pivot right away. You can change right away the procedure, policy ng isang organization. You can adapt to changing market conditions and customer needs. Ay, pag meron ka mga customer feedback, example, you are into restaurant or fast food business. And every now and then, meron kang ginagawang may ginagawa kang customer feedback mechanism. Kumuha ng data, questionnaire sa mga customers mo, client, every regular, example, weekly. And you can monitor na throughout these years, kapalit-palit yung trend or taste ng mga customers or group of people depending on their age bracket, civil status, family background. Bago-bago siya. Pag wala kang data, hindi mo nalaman yung changes. Pero pag mayroon kang data, nakalista siya, so are flexible, you can change right away depending on the market trends or condition. Kasi naka-record siya. Okay, so it allows quick modifications to workflow without disrupting operation. Yung workflow sa isang company, example, nagpalit ng naka-flowchart, yan. Naka-flowchart yung ginagawa or procedure ng isang organization. So, nalalaman mo din yung kung saan ka nagkamali sa flowchart. You can monitor saan ka nagkamali doon. One component of the flowchart, you can change that. Pag meron kang record system. So, pag wala kang record system, hindi mo alam kung saan nagkamali or saan part ng process nagkamali yung isang empleyado or employee. So, let's go to number 5, benefits. And ng isang BPM. So, 5 and 6, improve customer experience. One benefit, maganda, no? Kasi pag ako yung customers at alam ko yung at mabilis gumawa yung nagsiserve sa akin, mabilis gumawa kasi meron silang sinusundan. Example, ang task is solving customer complaint. That is the task. That is part of customer relation management department ng isang company. So meron kang manual just in case na meron isang employee na complaining. Yan. Anong unang gagawin? Okay? Sabi ko pag meron kang 5 empleyado, 5 ways din na i-handle nila yung complaints ng isang customers. Pero pag meron kang listahan, meron kang procedure sinusunod. Yung response time mabilis eh. Walang delay sa pag-solve ng problem, walang delay sa pag-deliver. Kasi meron kang sinusundan na protocol or procedure. Example, 'di ba, basic sa customer relation management. Pag may complaining na customers, 'di ba? So anong unang gagawin? O 'di ba sabi natin, huwag nating sasabayan yung dating sasabay yung galit ng customers na nagko-complain. Okay, dapat computer mode ka lang. Kaya nakalagay sa manual, di ba? Number 1, be in computer mode. Ibig sabihin, huwag kang masyadong mag-respond ng adverse dun sa nagko-complain. Ibig sabihin, huwag mong sasabayan yung kanyang complaints. Para easy ka lang, kalmado ka lang. Important, dapat mag-apologize. You should have empathy doon sa customers na complain. Assure him, assure her kung anong gagawin. At sabihin sa kanya kung ilang days masosolve yung problem. Mga procedure na dapat nating sinusundan, no? Nakalagay sa process yan. Pag kaming customers, I am complacent, I am satisfied na in 3 days time masosolve ang ating complaints. Kasi meron kang BPM na sinusunod. Right? Tapos, consistent, no? Kahit ilang customers yan, pag uniform or consistent yung ginagawang procedure, that is one benefit. Consistent or quality ng service na pinoprovide sa kanila. Hindi pwedeng huni-hulaan lang. Diba? Kasi walang procedure, hinuhulaan mo lang yung nagagawin. Yung isang empleyado, nag-deliver 2 days. Isa naman, 3 araw. Gawin customers, I will compare. At yung kabila, 2 araw na, ba't ikaw 3? Pero kung meron kang protocol or procedure na susundan, diba? So, pare-pareho kayong 3 araw or 2 araw lang. Right. So, number 6, data-driven decision-making. Since meron kang data na maka-record o in-store sa iyong folder or book file, you can decide right away based on the data na nakalagay sa iyong folder. So, provides insight into performance through analytics. You can analyze kasi guys, no? Pag meron kang record, you can't analyze pag wala kang record. You can't do analytics pag wala kang record. And pag may BPM ka, ibig sabihin meron kang record. Example, you can analyze ilang yung lead time ng pag-deliver, pagdating ng supplies, most of the time, on the average ilang araw. On the average, sakalagay sa sa record BPM, no? On the average, yung supply niya dumarating on the average 5 days. So the lead time is 5 days. Pag sabing lead time, ito yung time na ipinaghihintay mo bago dumating yung supply sa'yo. And where did you get the survey, the data average? So meron kang data, meron kang process sinusunod din. So on the average, waiting time 5 days. And that is your analytics. Okay? And you can also use this data, example, in forecasting. In forecasting, example, the sales the gross receipt of your company. Right? Kasi nagre-record ka eh. Na nakita mo doon, yung sales pala namin is directly related sa aming advertising expenses. Kasi sa record namin, pag 10,000 advertising expense namin, ang benta namin 100,000. Pag 20,000 na aming advertising expense, ang benta namin 200,000. Pag ang aming expense ay 30,000, ang benta namin 300,000. So, na-analyze mo eh. Kasi meron kang data, nakalista siya. Right? So, next month, alam mo na magiging benta mo. Example, nagbenta ka ng gumastos ka sa advertising ng 40,000. So, you can assume na nasa 400,000 magiging benta ng company. Or, you have advertising expenses of 50,000. You can assume na 500,000 benta natin. Kasi meron kang record. At pag may record ka, you can do the analytics for number 5. Helps in identifying bottlenecks and optimizing process. Kung meron kang number 6, nalalaman mo yung kwan eh. Kasi, di ba, data sometimes are numbers. Data are information. Nagagamit mo sa pag-decide. Okay? Eh, pag wala kang record, pag wala kang BPM, pag wala kang process sunod-sunod. Part ng process itong yung you have data, you have record, that is part of the process. That is part of your database. No? So, you can use the database in doing analytics for your business. No? And you can benefit. Okay, and number 7, benefit of BPM, increase collaboration among members of the company, among members of the organization or department. So we have been talking about collaboration many times. So lahat ng subjects, lahat ng area of business, we have been talking about collaboration. Pag sinabing collaboration, one department can collab with another department sa loob ng isang organization. Hindi na uso yung accounting ka lang. Hindi na uso yung marketing ka lang. Hindi na uso yung IT ka lang. Pag sinabing collaboration sa loob ng isang organization, cross-sectional collaboration. Example, marketing, pagkasama sa isang team ang marketing, IT, and HR. Pagkasama sa isang team ang production, HR, and operation. Tapos kabila, magkasama yung finance, marketing, tapos service department. That is collaboration. No? And by the way, ang MS Team guys, ang MS Team is one form of collaborating. As have you noticed, pag ginagamit ang MS Team sa isang organization, you can collab kahit yung magkakalayo, kahit yung magkakasama, you can use the MS Team platform to collaborate. Nag-type ka sa MS Team, kita nung kakolab mo eh. Basta meron silang MS Team ha. So parang basically, you can write your data or suggestion sa isang platform na pwedeng lahat kayo magsulat doon. Kahit hindi kayo magkakasama. You can try this one, no? Tatlo kayo, you have MS Team account. You can collab using MS Team eh. Kahit hindi kayo magkakasama. And of course, having this type of platform like MS Team is part of your business process management. Standard number 7, breaks down silos between department. Pag sinabing silos, no? Natin definition ng silos, ito yung naghihinder sa mga department na gumawa ng collaboration. So pag mayroon kang BPM, ito parang pit or parang hindrance. Ayan, no? So mayroon kang BPM, yung parang ikaw na solve na isang company. Pag may BPM, hindi na gano'n. Kapag sinabing collaboration, you go outside your own organization, your own department, and collab with other people. Ayan, no? And encourage cross-functional teamwork sa loob ng organization. Sabi ko kanina, if you're from IT department, you can work with like people from finance, accounting, people from HR. You should be communicating directly. pag sinabi natin BPM. No? Kasi part ng BPM is siyempre yung lahat ng process can affect one department. Example, in hiring, if you are an IT person and you need a competent, very competent top tier na employee sa yung IT department. Hindi lang yung decision taga-IT. That is a decision, of course, of accounting department. Ba? So you want IT, you want the best employee for your organization. Sabi ng accounting department, kaya lang kulang tayo sa budget. Wala tayong maibigay na masyadong malaking salary doon sa sinahanap nyo. Hanggang ano lang tayo, example, hanggang 50,000 lang tayo. Yung budget na hinahanap, ipang 70,000 na sweldo. For you to get the best IT person, isabi ng accounting, negative, hanggang 50,000 lang tayo. Eh, siyempre, accounting or finance on legal side, di ba? And kakulab din dito yung HR. Right? Although, you want the best for your IT department and the proper salary from the finance department. Yung HR naghahanap ng mga empleyado, no? Sila nagre-recruit eh. So it means you should collaborate with the HR and the finance department. Okay? So that is part of BPM. Dapat nakasulat yung process in hiring people, in hiring employee, for example. If you want an employee in your company, in your department, dapat meron kang sinusunod na process. Ang pala mag-start pala sa yan, sa HR. HR yung maggagawa ng needs analysis para sa inyong department. Kung ano talaga kailangan. Alright, so those are, guys, the benefits, advantages of having a BPM in your organization. Now, pag meron nga benefits or advantages, meron tayong mga challenges or obstacles sa loob ng isang organization natin. Okay, so the next part of the topic, let's go on the opposite side. Ito ang tinatawag natin mga obstacles or challenges sa ating BPM or Business Process Management. Challenge number 1, hindi pala palaging magagawa palagi ang BPM kasi mayroong mga obstacles. If you want to have a good BPM, ito yung mga 7 obstacles or challenges na we should overcome, we should hurdle before you can implement a proper business process management sa ating mga organization or a company. Firstly, number 1, high implementation cost. Especially if the company is yung innovative company. Anong gastos dyan? Of course, it will require, but the BPM will require high investment costs sa tools, BPM tools. Sinasabi ko kanina, yung MS Team. Siyempre may bayad yan. MS Team, Monday.com na ginagamit sa mga organization natin. Mga tools or software na gagamitin natin sa ating company. If you want sa yung website, for example, di ba, i-click mo na lang yung mga data, i-click mo na lang yung mga procedure doon. So, you need a programmer, maintenance of the website, or tools or application or apps na gagamitin sa iyong organization or company. Example, part ng iyong BPM, yung hiring process na automated, no? Itatype mo lang yung pangalan, itatype mo lang yung data ng mga aplikante mo, and the software will tell you, example, kung the good side and bad side of that employee. Para sa AI, no? Tapos sa AI, nga, I will input all the data or info this applicant and then give me the feedback. Anong klaseng empleyado to? Ilang taon sa magtatagal sa company? May mga ganung software na pwedeng gamitin. And of course, those are not free, di ba? Kahit subscription lang yun at least you will be paying some amount of money. Pag may mga tools ka or mga software or mga machines na gagamitin, of course, you need training. You'll train your employees. Mahal yan pag sa labas, no? Pag sa loob nga, pag in-house training, may gastos ka dyan. Example, food preparation, mga participants, yung mga professional fee ng mga speakers sa loob. Kapag sa labas mo ginawa yan, in example, sa Hong Kong yung example, gumagamit kang SAP. One time, sa university ko, merong SAP training and pinadala sa Hong Kong yung mga participant. Shouldered by the company, Hong Kong. Kasi nandun na yung training eh. Yung time na hindi pa masyadong uso yung online conferencing like Zoom, Google Meet or MS Teams. Talagang pupunta talaga sa outside. And it will cost the company some amount. Training fee, transpo, accommodation ng participants. Ayan. So, high implementation cost may need external consultants. Ayan. Pag hindi pa masyadong sanay mo empleyado sa ginagamit na latest tools or software. So, first few months, meron kang consultant dyan binabayaran or expert. One time in one of my university, we did some EBET accreditation. So yung company, yung university hired a consultant. And now si consultant binabayaran ng company for the sake of EBET accreditation. And per visit ng consultant, that was 80,000 per visit. So you can imagine yung binabayaran ng company. So it will cost you some amount. Pag gusto mo talagang streamlined or meron ka talagang compliant na system, compliant example to ISO, compliant example to ABET accreditation. So ISO and ABET are regulatory body na one company or school should comply with ang kanilang mga standards. And number 2, resistance to change. Employees may be reluctant to adapt new. That is one hurdle. Of course, BPM will require the company organization to change some of its protocol or procedure, programs, policies. So, mayroong changes and not all of the employees will adhere or receptive. Some of them are reluctant to adapt the new workplace, new protocols, new standard. Siyempre, pag ISO for example, puro sulat ka no? You will write all the procedures. Kung nasanay ka, so parang by the paper na pag sinabi natin compliant ka. Pag yung empleyado nasanay sa mga ginagawa dati na shortcut, hindi masyadong standard, and eto, here comes the new standard na ginawa as part of the BPM. No? So, especially mga medyo patagal na sa company or senior na sa company, they are reluctant. Right? And another one, resistance to change requires strong change management strategies. Yung company mismo, yung manager mismo babago ng strategy pag bagong BPM or changes. Kasi bagong protocol, procedure, bagong mga program susundin, changes na. If you are the boss, if you are the owner of the company, yung strategy mo will be affected Maybe not the whole strategy, but a portion of the strategy will be affected by the BPM. Diba ikaw yung boss, parang may bago, no? So, ano mga nga pa? Okay, so the third challenge or obstacle ng BPM, let's have this one. Complexity in process mapping. Okay, so as part of the documentation ulit, hindi lang narrative yung procedure ng isang BPM. Meron isang flowchart. We call this mapping. Yung mapping dapat nag-jay doon sa narrative. Kung anong nakasulat sa narrative or the discussion or explanation, dapat ganun din yung plan. sa flow. So what is importance of the flow or the mapping? Minsan kasi mas madaling yung mapping or yung flowchart or yung workflow ng isang process. Tulad sa isang university ko, no? Although nakalatag yung gagawing procedure enrollment, ang ginawa university, sa isang malaking wall, nakalagay doon per procedure. Kapag estudyante ka, nakikita mo din yung progress mo eh. Example, nandito na ako sa point na to. Dito na ako sa station na to. Nakikita mo yung progress mo eh, no? Kung saan ka na sa process enrollment ng isang university. So, mas pwedeng tingnan pag visual. Okay? Kasi maraming klase ng learners, may visual, meron ding yung magaling sa language, magaling magbasa. Iba naman, mas visual ang gusto nila. Important, meron kang mapping na ginagawa. Example, sabihin, lahat ng procedure ng iyong organization naka-discuss. At the same time, naka-mapping. Problem is complexity in process mapping. Sometimes you can't identify, analyze, and optimize workflows kasi the workflows are challenging. Iba yung nakasulat, iba yung nasa workflow. Kaya hindi lang pwedeng puro workflow or mapping or flowchart kasi dapat maintindihan din. Kaya meron kang discussion. Kaya the two should go in tango. Pag meron kang mapping, meron ka din discussion. Ang problema, may magaling sa mapping, mahina sa discussion. Iba naman, magaling sa discussion, mahina sa mapping. The problem is, pag minsan they are not good in analyzing the map or the flow chart ng isang organization. Dapat magsulat ka. And challenge number 4, integration with existing system. Sabi na kanina hindi lahat ng mga empleyado receptive sa bago. Diba? Some of them are reluctant. Kasi nga, bagong procedure. Pag meron ka nakasanayan na ginagawa for the last 10 years na. So, mahirap. So, aside from reluctant silang i-accept ang isang bagong procedure, kita natin yung number 4, integration with existing system. BPM solutions must align with legacy system and IT infrastructure. May bagong procedure, paano nila papasok sa IT? Example, sa IT procedure, programs. Di ba, pag bagong procedure, papasok mo sa IT infra. Ito ang bago ng program, ng system. Di ba? Hindi naman sa basta-basta ang kwad. Alam ko, although some of you here are good in system analysis or programming, pero alam ko matagal din yan, no? Pag may bagong variables ay papasok, system, so matagal. So anong result niyan? Meron tayong maintenance period. Sabihin, yung system din natin magagamit for like 1 week. Kasi may dinagdag na variables or procedure doon sa system natin. Hindi naman pwedeng natin i-integrate yung bagong procedure, no? So we need that. Of course, we can wait, no? The company can wait for a couple of days, no, or a couple of weeks before free-flowing na yung paggawa ng system. Sa una, may delay, may inefficiency kasi trial and error, di ba? Nalalaman natin yung glitch ng system pag ginagamit na natin. So, first few months or first few weeks, may glitch sa system. Hindi pa perfect. Yung productivity ng mga empleyado ng system, ng company as a whole is hindi pa masyadong perfect because of this new protocol. Siya nating nakikita na challenge. Alright, and let's go to number 5, obstacle or challenge. This one, number 5, ongoing maintenance and updates. Yan. Alright, so pag meron ng papasok so aside from the integration, yung updating din, maintenance ng system natin. At yung ating mga ginagawang procedure, hindi naman siya tuloy-tuloy. Hindi naman siya forever na tama siya. So of course, meron tayong tinatawag na continuous improvement sa loob ng isang company. Pag merong bago o hindi na relevant na procedure, ina-update natin yan, pinabago natin. So we are constantly monitoring yung ating mga protocol or procedure sa isang company, and we can maintain, we can upgrade kung meron siyang dapat baguhin. Okay, hoping that you are still with me, guys. So we are now down to just a couple of slides. So number 6 tayo. Number 6, obstacle, data security and privacy risk. So very obvious, no? So under number 6, handling sensitive business data requires strict security measure. Yan. So may program and procedures na gagawin. Kung may bago, siyempre, those are prone to data security. Pag wala kang proper proper checking, monitoring of access, kung sino lang dapat ang may access sa mga data or procedure ng ating organization, no? Ng ating business, dapat sila lang dapat. Sa mga data tayo, no? Sabi kanina natin, sa isang BPM, meron tayong mga procedure na data na sinusulat. Example, benta, expenses. So, hindi lahat ay meron dapat access sa ganon. So, one challenge is how to secure the data or information na nakalagay sa ating BPM. Okay? Malit na company ka na example. Yung naka-assign, hindi naman siya cyber security expert. Right? So, mayroon kang problem dito. That is a challenge, how to secure the data and privacy risk. Compliance with data protection law. Meron tayong data protection law sa Pilipinas. So, that is a challenge. How do you keep all the data or info ng iyong organization? Paano mo siya gagawin? Okay? O sa isang school, yung mga data, mga documents, nasa lapag lang, nasa table. Walang proper maintenance or safekeeping. So, kahit sino makakakita ng ng data na yan. Procedure na yan. So, dapat, kasi nakalatag lang Right? Ganoon din pag online data. Pag walang cyber security, you can also access the data. Dapat properly secured. The problem is, sa mga hackers ngayon, ang laman lang kasi ngayon, guys, data, no? Data mining, analytics. Mas marami kang data, mas marami kang magagamit sa iyong company, sa iyong business. Yung data makalaban, pwede mo siyang gamitin. So, if they are not properly protecting your data, pwede mo siyang makuha at magamit sa iyong organization, sa iyong company. So, dapat, you should protect your data, and you should also protect your data. Alright. Yung ating number 7, or this is the last one, the last challenge or obstacle in BPM. Of course, I know that you know what is ROI, return on investment, return of investment. You should now measuring the ROI and performance of your own organization. Okay, sabi natin kanina, may benefit yung using BPM sa isang organization. Productivity, efficiency na. Ang tanong, paano mo ma-measure kung talagang effective yung paggagamit? Efficient pero effective pa. So, one challenge under number 7 is determining the effectiveness of BPM initiative can be complex. Although you have been keeping records, you have been monitoring records, uniform kayo, standard ang ginagawa. Lahat ay sumusunod sa protocol. Pero, yung mga yun ba ay factors in contributing to the net income of the organization or company. Right? Kasi pag wala siyang number wala siyang pang amount pamahirap i-quantify yung pagiging efficient, pagiging uniform, keeping data, cybersecurity. Mahirap siyang i-quantify if they can contribute to the bottom line or net income of the company. Hindi natin malalaman gaano, okay, sige, effective, pero gaano ka effective ng ating company nung gumamit tayo ng BPM. Okay, that is one challenge. No? Another challenge, the keep KPI or key performance indicators must be clearly defined and tracked over time. Okay, so yung ginagawa sa organization, pero ka dapat checklist na. Yung paggawa ng checklist, hirap na tayo, di ba? Ano bang performance sa ating measure? Ba't tayo gumagawa ng BPM? So, dapat nakasulat talaga, no? Dapat yung KPI, yung mga factors or mga performance na ilista mo pag gumawa ng BPM, dapat properly listed yung mga checklist, no? Para yun natin itatrack. Example, KPI, keeping of records, productivity. Yan, example, 10 KPI. I-check natin yan kung ito ba ay nagamit natin in doing the business process management. Yan. Pag hindi, so hindi natin ma-measure kung gaano ka effective ang isang BPM. Okay guys, yun ang ating mga challenges and benefit ng paggamit natin. So at least you have now a handful of knowledge or kahit kunti lang about the benefit and the obstacles in doing the BPM. Okay, so I know this one is my last slide, so I would like to thank you guys for coming down and listening to me. This is me, Dr. Cortez, signing off. At sa mga susunod na video recording, hoping you guys that will stay and participate. Pa-subscribe naman, people. Maraming salamat. Bye, everyone.